guys, let's get started with a little bit of an adductor stretch. So feet apart as much as you can comfortably get them, and then slowly staying upright, making sure you're not sticking your bottom out, going to one side, bending the knee on one side, really stretching out the adductors or the groin muscles. On the one side, get a nice big stretch, and then breathing in and out slowly, and then slowly coming back up, and then going to the other side. Well done. Excellent. As you do that, things to watch out for, trying to make sure that you're not sort of twisting your body one way, so making sure that you're sort of straight on, not sticking your bottom in, and then slowly back up, making sure that the weight is even across both, across the feet, and then as you go to one side, you're still sort of trying to keep the weight on the one foot throughout rather than just putting it all on the front or the back. Okay. Excellent, and then slowly one more time. Things we could do to make it different, harder, would be the further apart you can get your feet, the harder it sort of becomes. Again, good technique is key.
I feel that.
Yeah. And again, with any sort of joint restrictions, one of the best things you could do is sort of make sure the joints all sort of track across the plane. So if you have time, so if you want to turn that right foot out a little bit as you go to that side, and you can just probably get a little bit deeper on that one side. Good. And then slowly back and try the same thing on the other side. Hold on to the chair a little bit more, and then you can do the same exercises, being sure that you're more able to do that as well as much as you can. Sometimes there will be a bit of asymmetry. It's just something you're aiming to work towards a little bit. The other thing I can tell you is breathe. If you need a metronome, use that if you need to, rather than focusing on counting and holding it, because breathing is very important because you're trying to release the muscle a little bit. Okay? Good. Excellent. Good.
And then I guess you can go further.
Yeah, you can go further.
And then have more stability on the chair.
Yeah. Excellent. Good.
She's like the next ballerina, and I'm the next footballer.
Good. Okay. One more time on this side, Tom. Excellent. Once on the other side. So the only thing I changed, Tom, between the two sides is when you look at your right side, you're putting the weight across the whole foot. On the left side, sorry. And when you're doing it on the right, you're going on the front of the foot. Okay? So I want you to try and keep that weight through the foot, not letting the heel come off the floor as you do that on the right.
So that's this heel.
That one, sorry. Right leg. That's it. Does that feel different?
It hurts a bit.
Okay. In that case, what I'd recommend is have the foot out a little bit more and see how that feels. Is that a bit better?
Oh yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Good. And again, so you've got it close to 2:30 on the clock. If I could say 12 is that way. Maybe aim for 2 o'clock, just a little bit further in on the right foot. That's it. And then try again. That might be that magic point between comfort and the adductors.
Yeah, that's better actually.
Good. Excellent. And again, breathing and just taking it easy as much as you can. Doing very well. Good. So Tom, some discomfort is to be expected as you go through the stretches. You are sort of doing things that the body doesn't necessarily want to do at the start, but it should sort of ease up a little bit as you practice it and get a little bit better with the movement, or as you repeat it.
Okay.
Okay, Tom, come on over. So what I'm going to get you to start with is facing that way. Okay. Now, can I get the right leg to the back a little bit? That's it. A bit more actually. And slowly, what I want you to do is bend both knees for me. Yep, let the heel come off. And I want you to try and tuck your tailbone under. So you're trying to really, okay. Now I want you to take the right leg to the back, okay. And again, bend the knees, letting the back heel come off the floor. Good. And then once you get to a comfortable position, I want you to tuck your tailbone under so we get a stretch across the front of the thigh. And again, breathing, so slowly. You've got to be smiling a little bit. Good. Okay, good. Excellent. And then slowly back up. Okay, the way I would change it a little bit, Tom, is this time when you put that leg back, I want you to put it further back and make sure the weight is even across both feet. Okay, get that position right first. Okay, and now slowly bend down as much as you're comfortable going, and then focus on tucking the tailbone under. Good. Can you feel that stretching the front of the thigh still? Good. Just breathing and then slowly coming back up. Okay. To make it even easier, if required, what I'd get you to do is just have the foot a bit further. So closer, just bend the knee a little bit, put the weight on that leg, and tuck your tailbone under. You'll still get somewhat of a stretch across the hip flexor if you'd like to try. Good. Okay, and then slowly back up. Okay, so what I want you to try is get a hold onto the front and try and keep the thighs together, really focusing on standing upright. Should get a nice stretch across the front of the thigh. Okay, you're doing better than me. Excellent. It's a good balance exercise too, technically in this position. And again, you've got to be breathing nice and if you want to make it harder, focus on trying to stand as tall as you can. And again. And you're doing it quite well. Sometimes a lot of people can hold onto the leg and take it out, which doesn't do the hip flexor, so really good. And slowly down. Do you want to just try the other side as well? See how that... Good. Excellent. The other thing to note is that the hips are level, so that's great as well. Excellent. Good. Excellent. Very good. Excellent. Good. Did both sides feel similar?
Yes, but that last side was more, I felt less stable on it.
Yeah, that's good. Alright, so we'll start off with a hamstring stretch, which I'm really a big proponent of using, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting down, because then there's a very good chance that the hamstrings will be very tight. Could be due to work or just sitting down due to having flare-up, etc. So the first thing I'd recommend is getting a comfortable chair, so sitting not necessarily at the back, sort of at the front a little bit, okay? And then what I want you to do is, let's take one leg out, okay? The other leg sort of in front, okay? Heel down, toes up a little bit, and then usually I just like to put the hand on the other leg, and then slowly just leaning forward, and you should hopefully get a nice stretch across the hamstring and the back. Now sometimes you can get it more in the calf muscle, in which case what I recommend is slowly trying to point the toes down, and then try that again, and you should get that a little bit more in the hamstring. Other things to watch out for, I guess, and these are just small technique things I'd say, is trying to make sure that you have the leg front on. Sometimes you can just kind of go like that and then go that way. It still sort of does approximately the same thing. And again, breathing in and breathing out, nice and big, deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and then slowly up. And then we'll try the other side just to compare. Does it feel similar to the other side? Is one side a bit better, worse, etc.? And then slowly. Good. And another thing I highly recommend is making sure you're not sort of pushing to the end and bouncing. That's doing a lot of different things. It's stretching the joint capsule, not really stretching the muscle. So ideally you want to be sort of in that comfortable range of feeling that. Okay, excellent. Then slowly back. I might get Tom to try that, otherwise he'll feel left out. Okay. Yeah, that's probably about. And again, slowly. Okay. The only thing I might change, so I might just make a recommendation, because you've got shoes on, try, at the moment you have the bottom of the heel, I want you to try and get and see how that feels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Again, these small technique things, cues that we have, can make a bit of a difference. And it's always sort of a good idea to sort of review every couple of days, am I doing it right? Good. Excellent, very well done. Next is, again, especially if you're spending a bit of time working, etc. I call this sort of my back movements, for lack of a better word, just that sort of just makes a bit of a difference, I think. So you might need to move the chairs a little bit apart. Okay, so feet apart, toes out a little bit, and sort of sitting upright and gently leaning forward. So breathing in and then breathing out. Breathing in again in that position and then breathing out. And again, different people will feel it in different spots. So some people feel it in the lower back, some people may feel it at the top of the glutes, others may feel it in the adductors a little bit. A progression, if you're comfortable with that and you don't have too many restrictions, would be just trying to go down and trying to reach the floor if you can. Okay? It's not a challenge and I don't want you to bounce down. It's just whatever feels comfortable and you're breathing as you do that. And then slowly back up. Okay. Where did you feel that actually?
Lower back.
Lower back for you.
Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah, lower back.
Lower back for you too. Okay, good. And then next, both feet together. Okay, for this one I guess ideally two versions of it. I generally use the armrest, so what you're trying to do is sit upright and then you're going out to one side holding on, and then you're pulling yourself towards the back a little bit, just to stretch, hold for a few seconds, good, and then slowly back, and then the other side. Good. And then once more on the other side. Now, if that's not too bad and you can manage it, you can even almost try and touch the back of the chair, see if you can actually reach it. But again, if you start feeling it in the shoulder blades, then you're going too far. Okay.
It's going too far.
Yeah. Good. Just a couple of repetitions that I find can be quite helpful. Excellent. And then one more thing, and again, it's to do with functionality that I think is quite important. How do you guys go with putting on your shoes and socks? Not too bad, or?
Some days are better than others.
This one's perfect. This
Yeah.
one takes a bit of it.
I can understand that. So here is what I would do for a not good day. Okay, so sitting a little bit further back into the chair, one foot sort of in front, okay, and the other leg, it's my knee clip there, and just sort of across a little bit. And if you can lean forward, you should get a gentle stretch across the glute on the left side. Okay. And the main thing I'd focus on is making sure that as I'm doing it on my left leg, my right leg is planted down. So that's my centering force. And then this leg is going across as much as I can to get that stretch. Again, if this is relatively easy and it's not too much of a challenge, I can try this. Okay. And again, doing it very well. Yep, you're getting a nice stretch. Okay, the challenge here is manage what you can. If you're uncomfortable, bring the leg down. Okay, I'm happy for you to do that. But if you can get into that position and trying to bring that knee down. Okay, I'm pretty tight myself, I can't deny that. But if you're getting a good stretch, that's what you need. Things to avoid, you're trying to get the outside, the lateral malleolus onto the knee if you can. If you're doing that, that's not quite doing the stretch that I needed to do. And it's something you probably need to work on. Okay, and then we'll slowly bring that leg down and try the other side as well. See if that feels okay. Yeah, and it's not uncommon to have one side be tighter than the other. Okay. Okay, and again, good. Okay. Things to make it even more challenging I've seen is sort of aiming towards that sort of shoulder to the knee a little bit. Really gets that going, or even leaning forward a little bit. Can be quite a good stretch. Okay. But again, if you can't get the leg up, a good thing I can show, you can try it. Maybe we'll start with you, Tom. Planting, I might show that myself actually, sorry, is plant the foot under, and then if you have a stool or something, go across, and that sort of gives you a happy medium to get that stretch a little bit. I suspect one side might be easier. Good. And again, the only thing I change is, can we get this a bit more centered, this leg? That's it, excellent. And that might give you a happy medium for that stretch. Can you feel it or not really? Good. Yeah, and then you can see straight away that leg moves a lot easier. Okay. And then I'm not just actually tried as well, better than I was, so.
So my body foot underneath.
Yeah.
And then you swung across.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's sort of a happy medium.
And puts less pressure
Yeah.
on your knee.
The shoulder joint tends to be one that's impacted by arthritis a fair bit. It's probably one of the most mobile joints in the body. As a result, inherently unstable. It's probably the one that I have difficulty stretching as well. I will get started with the movements first, and then we'll go through a couple of stretches. So trying to work through a pain-free range of motion is very important. So trying to maybe, let's go thumbs up. Okay, sitting upright, squeezing the shoulder blades back a little bit, and then going up. Okay, and if you can do it with the elbow straight, that's great. You want to try and avoid any hitching in the shoulders if you can. Good. And then slowly, just a couple of repetitions, just working through. Breathing in and slowly up. Any challenges?
Yeah, once I get higher, my shoulders are like
Okay.
more tense.
So, yeah.
It's just less motion.
Yeah, so what I want you to do, so come back down again. About that point where you feel like you've got to lean forward to get that back, but stop there.
Yeah.
And then slowly come back from there. Good. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, a lot better.
Excellent. So technique cues to watch out for would be, for example, if you have someone that's sort of going like that and then bending, that's really the elbow bending, it's not really the shoulder. So if you have a slight bend, keep that slight bend throughout. Okay, and then slowly, as you get more comfortable, you can see if you can go a bit further. Okay. Another one that is quite useful is starting off sort of going out to the side, so you guys can go.
Oh,
Both at the same time. Okay, really opening up the chest as much as you can. Good, and then slowly back. And you can bend your elbows a little bit, okay? Things to avoid with this movement would be trying to avoid shrugging as you do that movement. So really squeeze the shoulder blades together. Excellent. Good. And then
When I'm here, I feel like my whole yoga class when we say namaste.
yeah. Yeah. Love that. And the other thing I sort of like to do, especially for the shoulders, maybe this should be near the end of the stretches, but I find it quite useful to give yourself a big hug and lean forward. Stretches out all the muscles in the thoracic spine a little bit, like around the shoulder blades. Okay. And again, technically you can make it a combination when you breathe in, you go down, and then as you slowly breathe out, come up, come up, come up, come up, come up, and then let your arms go out, breathe out. Well done. And then slowly back. Good. Okay.